Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel Tech Sathi Avinash. In our previous video, we learned how cloud computing works. We discovered that our photos, videos and files don't stay on our own computer. Instead, they are stored in the cloud. So have you ever wondered where exactly is this cloud? Is it really floating somewhere in the sky? The answer is no. Every photo you upload, every email you send, every YouTube video you watch, and every website you visit is actually stored inside a real building. That building is called a data center. Friends, today we will go inside a data center, see what it contains, and understand how it connects to the internet to serve millions of people every second. So let's make this super simple. Imagine a huge public library. Instead of books, this library stores digital information. Instead of bookshelves, it has rows of powerful computers that is called servers. Whenever someone asks for a book, the librarian quickly finds it and hands it over. Usually it happens. So in a data center works all in almost the same way. Whenever you watch a YouTube video, open your Instagram or check your Gmail, a request is sent to a data center. The server finds the required information and send it back to your device within seconds. This entire process happens so fast that we hardly notice it. That's the power of a data center. Friends, now let's step inside one. The first thing you will notice is long rows of black cabinets. These are called server racks. Inside each rack are multiple servers. A server is simply a powerful computer. We had discussed in our previous video as well. But unlike your laptop, which is mainly used by one person, a server is designed to handle thousands or even millions of users at the same time. For example, when millions of people watch YouTube simultaneously, thousands of servers work together to deliver those videos smoothly. Now, you might be thinking, where is all this data actually stored? And the answer is inside large storage systems. These storage devices contain thousands of high speed SSDs and hard drives. Think of them as giant digital lockers where your photos, videos, emails, and documents are safely stored. Whenever you upload a file to Google Drive or save a picture to Google Photos, it is stored inside one of these storage systems. But storing data isn't enough. Friends, all these servers also need to communicate with each other. That's where networking devices come in. Switches and routers act like traffic controllers. They make sure data travels quickly and reaches the right destination without getting delayed. Friends, now imagine thousands of powerful computers working together all day and all night. They generate a huge amount of heat also. If they become too hot, they can slow down or even stop working. That's why every data center has powerful cooling systems as well that keep the servers running at the right temperature 24 hours a day. There's another challenge. What if the electricity suddenly goes off? Millions of websites and online services could stop working. To prevent that from happening, data centers use multiple backup systems, including UPS units, battery banks, and diesel generator all these likewise equipments. Even if there's a power failure, these backup systems keep everything running without interruption. Friends, now finally let's talk about security. A data center stores valuable information belonging to millions of people and businesses. That's why these buildings are protected with biometric access, CCTV cameras, security guards, and advanced fire protection systems. Every layer of security is designed to keep your data safe. Now we understand what a data center is and what's inside it. But here the interesting question, a data center is just a building. So how does your phone connect to a data center that could be hundreds or even thousands of kilometers away? So let's find it. Friends, now let's answer the most interesting question. If a data center is just a building, how does your phone connect to it within seconds? Let's make this super simple. Imagine you open YouTube on your phone and tap on a video. At that moment, your phone doesn't already have the video. Instead, it sends a request asking YouTube to send it. But where does this request go? This question arrives here. First, it reaches your Wi-Fi router. If you are using mobile data, it goes to the nearest mobile tower. From there, the request is forwarded to your internet service provider. And now, what is internet service provider? To understand it simply, you can say Jio, Airtel. So all these companies are our internet service provider, the company that provides your internet connection. Now the request enters a network of fiber optic cables. These cables don't carry electricity. They carry information using teeny pulses of light, allowing data to travel at incredible speeds. These fiber cables connect cities, countries, and even continents as well. Together, they form the internet backbone, the world's largest digital highway. Following this highway, your request reaches the nearest data center. Friends, inside the data center, a server receives your request, finds the video you asked for, and immediately sends it back. The response travels through the same path from data center to internet backbone to fiber optic cables to your ISP to your Wi-Fi, and finally your phone starts playing the video. All of this usually happens in less than a second. That's why internet feels so fast. Friends, now here's another interesting question. Why don't companies build just one huge data center for the whole world? And the answer is, imagine Google had only one data center in the United States. If someone in India wanted to watch YouTube, every request would have to travel all the way to America and back. That would make video load much more slowly, isn't it? That's why companies like Google, Microsoft, Amazon, and Meta build data centers in different parts of the world. Your request is usually sent to the nearest available data center, which makes website and apps much more faster. So today we learned that the cloud isn't floating in the sky, right? Behind every app and every website, real data center filled with powerful servers. And whenever you use the internet, your request travels through a global network to reach those servers and bring the information back to you in just a few seconds. But this brings us to another interesting question. A single data center contains thousands of physical servers, right? So how can one physical server become many virtual computers? That's exactly what we will learn in our next video on the topic of virtualization. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe and share it with someone who wants to understand technology in the simplest way possible. Friends, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.